You're listening to the Puzzle Podcast with Eddie D and Nicole, presented by Quality Content Puzzles. On today's episode, we'll be discussing Will Smith, Chris Rock, and the slap heard around the world at the 94th Annual Oscars, and the eventual fallout of Will Smith's actions. Now, the Puzzle Podcast with Eddie D and Nicole.
So, today's episode again is going to be dedicated to Will Smith and Chris Rock. And mind you, we are like, a month or so late since this incident happened, but so much, has happened, and so it's relevant today. And so we're going to jump into it. We're going to start by just talking about what happened in the first place. What we did is we pulled this story from CNN, and a lot of our stuff is coming from CNN, so we won't keep saying that. But after Will Smith was banned from attending the Oscars for 10 years, Will Smith will not be allowed to attend the Academy Awards for the next 10 years as a result of his slapping comedian Chris Rock on stage during this year's Oscar ceremony, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences announced in a statement obtained by CNN. Quote, the board has decided for a period of 10 years from April 8th, 2022, Mr. Smith shall not be permitted to attend any Academy events or programs in person or virtually, including but not limited to the Academy Awards. Academy President David Rubin and CEO Don Hudson said in a statement on Friday. The decision was made during a Board of Governors meeting held early in Los Angeles. The meeting, initially scheduled for April 18th, was expedited after Smith announced his resignation from the Academy last week. The decision came following tons of debate on what the consequences on his on-stage slap should be. They said the 94th Oscars were meant to be a celebration of the many individuals in our community who did incredible work this past year. However, those moments were overshadowed by the unacceptable and harmful behavior we saw Mr. Smith exhibit on stage. During our telecast, we did not adequately address the situation in the room. For this, we are very sorry. This is an opportunity for us to set an example for our guests, viewers, and our family around the world, and we fell short, unprepared for the unprecedented. The actor struck Rock as the comedian was on stage presenting at the Academy Awards on March 27th after Rock had made a joke about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith's close-cropped hair. Pinkett suffers from hair loss due to alopecia. Rock had not spoken in depth publicly about the incident. Days after it occurred, Rock appeared at a comedy show and said, I don't have a bunch of SHIT about what happened, so if you came to hear that, I had like a whole show that I wrote before, still kind of processing what happened. So at some point, I'll talk about that SHIT, and it'll be serious and it'll be funny, but right now I'm going to tell some jokes. And that's it. All right, so what are your thoughts about what happened on stage?
On stage, okay, thank you, because you know me, my mind kind of goes all over the place. What happened on stage, I feel was out of line. And I think that, I know I'm not the only person to feel that. I get that when some people tell jokes, and it's not just Chris Rock, because I've heard, some people say Chris Rock is Chris Rock, and he's going to be Chris Rock. Because that's him. And he tells, vulgar jokes. He tells jokes that will, throw people under the bus. Or he tells jokes that, may hurt people's feelings. But the thing is I feel like it's not, we say it's Chris and that's how he tells jokes. But man, that's a comedian. He's not the only person to do that. And I think that it went a little too far. I feel like what happened, I feel like it probably could have been prevented. Because, my question is, what are the rules of the show? When you have someone who's that important, come on, this is Chris Rock.
Right.
When you have someone who's that important, I don't care who it is, shouldn't there be some kind of I don't know, protection in place no matter what. Like, there should be nobody allowed to walk up on that stage. I mean, I guess people could argue, well, what if it was a sentimental moment where somebody might have wanted to hug? I don't give I don't care. Like, this should tell you. I mean, I guess because of everything that has happened with a lot of famous people, I would feel that there should be more protection put in place. I think about my girl who I miss, who I want to go and listen to her music, the little bit of music that she did make due to
Christina Green.
Yeah, like I feel like there should have been because of that situation and probably other situations like it. There should be things put in place to where I don't care if it's sentimental or you feeling a certain way or you feeling probably you want to jump. You shouldn't be allowed to go up there no matter what. Mm-hmm. If you want to thank somebody, do it afterwards. I don't know.
Right.
Right. And I guess that's just my feelings and opinions on it. Like you could probably say that, you know, you're taking people in the moment away from them. No, boo, if it's that big of a feeling for you, you'll feel it afterwards too. So that is my take on it. What are the rules of the show? Like,
what do you mean the rules of the show?
What are the rules? Like, what are there's nothing in place that says people need to be seated during this time? Like, you just get up and do whatever the heck you want to do.
Yeah, right.
Like, just in a concert where the person up there is telling you, come dance with me. This is not that. Chris Rock didn't offer somebody to come up and come tell a joke or be the prop for a joke. Mm-hmm. That's not what happened.
Right.
No.
Right.
And I don't know. Just because it was who it was.
Right.
It was okay.
Right. So for me, I feel like, and I've said this many times over the course of this thing happening. So my position had changed. I know, right? We need some different experience. But I've said this many times. I'm gonna say it again. I feel like if Will Smith felt that strongly about what he felt in that moment, which he did, I feel like he should have waited until after the show to go address the issue that he had with Chris Rock about the joke. Because when I looked at the joke and I looked at the tape and I looked at everything that happened, one, Will Smith was laughing as the joke went on. He was laughing and he was laughing at the joke. And so, you know, for you to get frustrated after the fact that you just laughed, you know, you look at your wife and she got an answer. It was funny. It was funny. Albeit, again, knowing that she suffers from what she suffers from, I can understand why it would feel kind of cringy. But again, that goes back to what I feel before, that, you know, Chris Rock has told cringe-worthy jokes for the course of his career. Like, this isn't anything new for him. This is what he does. He's been telling those kind of jokes his entire career. Some people may not have a desire for it. Some people may love it. You know, D.L. Hughley does the same thing. He goes through the audience, he sees what he sees, and he makes observations and he cracks jokes. Some people like it, some people don't. But it's been his craft, and that's what he's made his money off of. So for Chris Rock, this was nothing new under the sun. Now, had he, there's reports that he didn't know that she had alopecia. Although that's
even if he did, he probably would have still cracked that joke.
But
even Will Smith himself has said before, I don't know if Jada said this or not, but I feel like maybe sometimes you just gotta laugh at the hurt that is going on in your life. So you can't, knowing that he didn't know.
But in that moment, I don't think he knew or didn't know. Will Smith didn't know or didn't know. Will Smith got upset. Why he got upset? How he got upset? Obviously, keep my wife's name out your effing mouth. Like, obviously, he was mad about that. But the question that I have is, why did you get mad after you laughed?
After you laughed, exactly.
Was it because her face showed? Or was it because...
We don't even know what her face was.
No, we know what her face was. We know. She was like... That's the face she made. It's more like it wasn't like she was like... It doesn't appear that she was like deeply hurt by what Chris Rock said, because people have probably said worse. But anyway, the facial expression, it's much like how anybody else will make a facial expression if a joke's being told about them. Right. It's just like, all right. But, I don't think that it was to the point where he should have bowled up and been like, keep my wife's name out your mouth. However, no, not however. So, to that end, Will Smith gets upset. I don't think it should have risen to the level of him walking up on stage of an awards show. Okay. The biggest award show on the planet. Yeah. This isn't like the BET Soul Awards or the NAACP Awards or even something like I don't know, some other little award show that people don't know nothing about, the SAG Awards or whatever. This is the Oscars. This is the biggest award show on earth outside of the Grammys. Yeah. And so you pick that moment in time to decide you want to mollywop on somebody because you're upset.
Somebody who is
a comedian.
Not just a comedian, but a well-known,
one of the biggest comedians on it. And like I said, he may not be everybody's cup of tea, but still, he's still one of the biggest comedians on earth. He's on that stage for a reason, and you know the type of joke comedy that he does.
So did they know that he was the comedian that was going to be there before they bought their tickets?
Whether they did or didn't doesn't matter because they didn't buy tickets. They were invited to this. Like, you were invited to this. And even in whether they bought a ticket or not, Chris Rock is Chris Rock.
That's what I'm saying. Like, did they know that Chris Rock was going to be the comedian?
They don't listen to. Do they listen to Chris Rock? Whether they do or don't. Like, you have to. I would assume that they would know, because obviously you have a program out to think. But even if you don't, when Chris Rock gets on that stage, you know he gonna crack. That's what it does.
I guess that's what I'm saying though, and I'm not trying to like get them to be, that they're still wrong. I still believe it. But if they didn't know, they didn't have time to just walk away because they know who he is.
It doesn't. No, they had time. They had time. And why? Because he told about 5 minutes worth of jokes on people in the audience before them.
Okay, but knowing who Chris Rock is, what would Chris Rock would have done if they would have gotten up while he was telling jokes? Called him out.
Probably would have called him out.
Exactly. That's why you get up. I wouldn't get up.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point. Chris Rock is Chris Rock, and he's gonna do what he do, and he's not doing what he's doing with malicious intent. And I think, for me, it makes it difficult for me to be on Will Smith's side with it because, again, I understand you felt like you had to defend your wife's honor and all this other kind of stuff. But again, Chris Rock was doing what Chris Rock does. And you know this is what Chris Rock does. He's been doing it his whole life. And people want to say sometimes you got to get smacked in the mouth in order for you to understand you can't. But no, like, he's a comedian. That's what comedians do. And you have to respect the craft. So, if Will Smith, because he got upset the way that he was upset, I feel like if you were gonna mollywop him, wait till after the show. Because for me, if you feel that strongly, you don't let ABC and CBS and Fox News, the big folk, catch that story. Let TMZ get that one. Let Bossa get that story. Let World Star Hip Hop get that story. Not ABC, not CNN, not Fox, not them. Because now you're on the biggest stage on earth. And what makes it sad is that everybody who won an award on that night, you don't remember them now.
You really don't.
Who won? Do you know who won anything on the Oscars?
And don't go look it up.
Don't go look it up.
You just gotta
Who won their awards on the Oscars that night? You can't remember half of them now.
No, I get where you're coming from, and please believe me, I do not. I am not on Will's side. I really am not. with his actions and what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I'm saying in lieu of future episodes, like the one we're going to talk about in a little bit, is that if they didn't know that Chris Rock was the person that was going to be the comedian, then they kind of had no choice but to just sit there anyway, because even if they would have gotten up, they would have got joked on. And so I'm saying, and we'll get to this later, like, know who you're about to listen to, because if they don't listen to Chris Rock, and I don't know if they do or not, but if they don't listen to him, but they've heard and they know of him, I personally, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, probably don't think they would have sat where they sat.
Yeah, no,
They probably would have sat somewhere different.
No, they would have sat exactly where they sat, because I think those seats are
Well,
assigned.
then if they knew that he was going to be there, then they would have said something to somebody, telling them to keep her name out of his mouth.
Because
they know. Or just move me.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm saying in a little what we're about to talk about in a little
I
bit.
mean, it's true, but I think, again, at the same time, like, even if you get moved, the joke might still be said, because, again, Will Smith was going up for an award, and the way the jokes were going, that was the direction he was taking the jokes in. He was talking about the people who were going for the award. There was the same award that Will Smith was going up for.
Was he talking about them or their people too?
Yes, he was just joking about the fact that this one dude and his wife were going up for awards each. And the guy was going up for the same award that Will Smith was going up for. And so he was saying, Will Smith, please win this award. Please. Because if she don't win, I can't win. If I win, then I gotta hear it from her. Oh, so you think you better than me now that you don't got your best business award? So Will Smith, please, I need you to win this award. I need you to win this award.
So it probably was what talking about.
Right, and so in lieu of that, he then saw Jada, made a quick quip about Jada, and then was moving on to present the award that he was up there to present. And so, in some respects, maybe yes, Chris Rock should have just never brought her up. Should have never said her name, because she was not a part of the joke at all when in regards to winning, losing, all that kind of stuff. Jada wasn't up for anything anyway. So, but she's just sitting in position. She's in position, and so he saw her head, thought about G.I. Jane, said the joke. So, again, with that being said, if Will Smith felt that strongly about it, I feel like he just should have waited until after the show and then mollywopped or had a conversation or whatever after the show was over, so that, one, you wouldn't be on this big behind stage having done something stupid that's going to knock you around the world, and two, the rest of the people who won their awards, you don't know them now. They disappeared because everything's about Will Smith now. Yep. Everything's about Will Smith. Every conversation about the award show this year is about.
Good on Chris Rock's part, though.
Oh no!
He got something.
Oh no! And we gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that a lot. But again, like, I feel like, and so.
So how do you feel about the aftermath? How do you feel about what?
Nice.
Because I personally feel that because of what he did, I almost feel like, I'm a teacher, so I'm going to take you there. I almost feel like, I'm a mom, so I'm going to take you there. You want to act up in public right then? I'm going to show you what I'm about in public right then.
Okay.
And I feel like that wasn't done, and I feel like that's the shows or whoever, that's their fault. That's their. I feel like it's like, I don't think you should have stopped it completely. But you know how on some shows, what show was that, or what movie was that? It was a movie where it was a sappy movie, where they were actually, it was a movie about them in a show, and something happened, and they were like, cut the commercial. Them people they should have cut the commercial. Cut the commercial.
Yeah.
Instead of,
you talking about True Blood?
This was a sappy movie.
Oh, okay.
With my girl in it. I can't think of her her name.
Oh,
I see
good.
her face. But they should have did something. Cut to something. We should have had a come to Jesus moment.
Mm-hmm.
Something should have been done. That's why I feel like there weren't any rules put into place with that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like what was done to Will Smith was an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they hadn't put these things into play or into
Consideration.
like some kind of into consideration. What if?
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely
What
right.
if this
And so to their credit, they did ask Will Smith to
Wait a minute. Immediate action. I said there was none.
Right. No. So, to their credit, they did ask Will Smith to leave, and he said no. What they should have done is said, "You got to go."
Okay.
That's what should have happened. Who are you? Who is Will Smith?
To tell this
Organization.
all these people,
I ain't going nowhere. No, bro, you gotta go. I'm sorry. You.
Now, let it have been somebody else.
Oh, you got to go. Security.
But you know what? Okay, I hate to bring this
No,
up.
come on.
I hate to bring this up.
Come on.
But is it also not just because he's famous, but is it because he's black?
What you mean?
That they didn't push that you gotta go.
Oh no!
Because then it would have turned into this.
No. I don't think. No. I don't think. No. I don't think that had anything to do with it. I don't think race had anything to do with it. In his case, I think it's because it's Will Smith, and because Will Smith, they knew he was gonna win. They knew he was going to win the award for best actor. I know.
That's why I say they had no rules put into place. But Wifey could have got that. Wifey could have got that.
Still, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if there are rules. Like, bro, you just slapped somebody on our stage. You gotta go. There is no rule.
Who are you telling? And y'all let him come up there and get it after he done just flat out told y'all.
Which leads me to the other thing I'm frustrated about with Will Smith, because now you get up on this stage and you're all like, well, love make you do crazy things sometimes. Bro, are you kidding me?
What did she make you do? She didn't tell you to do
nothing.
nothing.
She didn't do jack. As a matter of fact, she threw you under the bus 3 days later by saying, I didn't need him to do that for me. I can stand up for myself. Like, so you didn't even, there was no need for you to do that. Now, mind you, there's a lot of women and some dudes who are like, Chris Rock got what he deserved. You act right, you get smacked right.
Okay, we ain't gonna get into that yet because Kevin Hart mentioned some things and I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I don't agree with that.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying I do either. I'm just saying there are people.
And you want to talk smack? It's a different story. But when you doing your job,
right? It's like that's what I'm saying. So like there's some people who feel like Will Smith did what he did and did what he. But even in that, some of them are frustrated with Will Smith too, because they're like, Will Smith, if you felt how you did when you smacked him, you shouldn't have apologized.
Exactly.
You should have got up there and said, this is how I felt. Don't talk about my wife or you're going to get smacked. It's that simple. And again, let the chips fall where they may, which they have. But now he's on this whole apology tour, like he's going to see a therapist, he's doing this, he's doing that. Like, no, bruh, you felt how you felt. And you smacked them as a result. So, what's up? Like, so again, it's like, I don't feel like they did that. I feel like they didn't do enough. They should have just went ahead. Will Smith, you got to go. Let's go get Bubba and Ray Ray and them. Take them on outside. And let that be the end of it. Now, do you think, because some people feel like he should have gave up his Best Actor award. Do you feel like he should have given it up?
No. If you are the best actor, then you are the best actor. I feel like something immediate should have been done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should have got that dude out of there. Not in fear of him doing something else, but that too.
Mm-hmm.
But just like any other place, like a graduation or some type of ceremony, you're not about to let this just chaoticness just happen and then not do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're gonna send people out at a graduation because they yell out or something like that, then how come you wouldn't kick somebody out who has slapped somebody and yelled out cursing? Like, Why would you not do that? So do you think that he should be on this apology tour?
No, I don't. And the reason why I feel that way is because, like, you did what you felt was the right thing to do.
So you don't think he should apologize at all?
I think he should apologize. Which he did. I think he should apologize to the people who now we don't know who they are for their awards, because you completely took that moment away from them. Like, this was not about you, but you made this award show about you by getting up there and doing what you did. You didn't think about the consequences of your actions. You didn't think about that. You just did what you felt like doing in that moment. Catharsis. You did what you wanted to do in that moment. You didn't think about the consequences of your actions. You didn't think about who was going to impact. Catharsis. So, like, in that moment, you took away so much from the awards, from the director of the award show, from, you know, the people who won the awards, from the academy itself. Your actions caused so much collateral damage. Those are the people that you should be apologizing to and
so
for.
I wonder, does he regret what he did because of the aftermath of this? He's losing so much.
Losing. Well, because, I mean, he done lost a lot of movie deals for the time being. I think they're still going to get made. But I just don't think they're going to get made in the timeline, because they're going to wait for him to go finish his apology tour first. But, yeah, I don't think anybody said anything. But I don't feel like he's losing in the long run. But it's like, you know, so no, I don't think he feels bad for that. I think he does feel bad for the collateral damage, but again, I don't feel like you need to be seeking therapy.
See, I feel like that's a hard topic to talk about, because once again, I'm a teacher and I deal with kids, and the subject actually came up one day. Like, you have a child who did something to another child, but they're not sorry for it, so should they apologize for it? And so I think that's a hard topic, because if you're not sorry for something, why do you apologize for it? But then you have to think about, like, what is showing respect?
Yeah.
Right. And so I feel like what I had said at that time was, if you're not sorry for something, are you not sorry for how it made someone feel? Do you not care? Like, what does that say about your character? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so I think Will Smith cares about all of that. I don't think he cares about what he did. I mean, he's since apologized to Chris Rock. He's talked to him. He's apologized. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. But again, at the end of the day, I feel like if you felt the way that you felt, that someone disrespected your wife, and you wanted to show them that they disrespected your wife, that's not something that you should be upset, that you should be sorry for, if that's how you really felt. I feel like he's probably apologetic for his actions. Not apologetic for his intent, but apologetic for his actions. Because he could have handled that situation a billion different ways differently. Even if he wanted to handle it at the show, backstage, after Chris Rock leaves.
That's what it was. He wasn't sorry for what he did, but he was sorry that what was done hurt him. He was sorry he felt hurt. He wasn't sorry he hurt him. Does that make sense?
Yes.
He was sorry that he felt hurt, but he wasn't sorry that he did the hurt.
Right. So it was like, okay.
How does that work? I'm sorry you feel hurt. Right. There it goes. I'm sorry you feel hurt.
Right. Oh, so, okay. Are you though? Are you? Just dude. Like, look at all the collateral damage that you caused.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Listen, you're watching the Puzzle Podcast with Eddie D and Nicole right here on TikTok and Instagram. We are presented by the Quality Content Puzzles and sponsored by 4 Point Puzzles, a very good puzzle company, RBL Wellness Company, and BetterCo. And to celebrate the return of the Puzzle Podcast, we have partnered with our sponsor, Quality Content, to give away a free puzzle to one of our lucky followers. To enter, simply follow at the _puzzle podcast and quality content _puzzles on Instagram, the Puzzle Podcast on TikTok. Thank you. And subscribe to the Puzzle Podcast with Eddie and Nicole on YouTube.
Alright, so each follow and subscription counts as an entry, and the last day to enter is on May 12th. So during our May 13th episode, we will announce the winner of the giveaway. The giveaway is open to the US and y'all.
So, where are we going next?
Alright, so I want to talk about black women, their hair, and knowledge.
Okay. While you're talking about that, I'm going to fix my phone. They said they can. No. Go ahead. Talk about it.
Well, before we do that, I'm sorry.
Okay.
How about we talk about how Chris Rock doesn't respond at first?
Okay. Go ahead.
I ain't gonna lie, that's a power move. You know why? Because that boy had everybody else responding for him. I thought that was real cool though, because I was wondering, when is this joke going to come into play? And it didn't, and I was waiting, but it never did. But everybody else did it for him. I think back to when I heard his brother. His brother was pissed.
Right.
He was peed off. And I can't blame him. But also when I heard what's his name? Wayans.
David Wayans.
Who?
Was it which Wayans was it? Marlon.
Marlon? It was Marlon, not the okay.
Yeah, it was Marlon.
Okay, so yeah, when I heard him talk and to hear his perspective on the whole thing, because he's cool with both of them, I got it. And it made me feel better a little bit. Ooh, that just got loud.
Mm-hmm.
Because he also feels that Will was in the wrong. But then also says how you've been saying how Chris Rock, he tells these, crazy jokes and off the wall jokes that can make someone feel and do what Will did, which I cannot wait to get into in a minute. But I don't know. I just feel like, hasn't he responded now, Chris Rock? I feel like you had that, but I haven't got a chance to read it. No, I haven't got a chance to read it. But the fact that he didn't respond, I thought that was a real power play. Mm-hmm. And so because I feel like, what do we always say? Any publicity is good publicity.
Exactly.
And the fact that happened to him, like, this wasn't my first thought, right? But I'm thinking now, yeah, I think that was the most important part of his career, to actually have it on live TV. Right. And now he's finna go joke the heck out of that.
Oh yeah.
And he's about to have some like sold out places.
Oh, he's already had sold out places. Immediately after the first first show that he had.
And you know why? Because they were waiting to hear some jokes.
They did. They wanted to hear some jokes.
I wonder how they felt when they didn't get what they wanted.
They wanted to hear some jokes.
Yeah, they did. But yeah, man, Chris Rock, he's a comedian, and I feel like he's not the only one who does that. Man, you got to think about it. Even Kevin Hart does it. Right. He jokes on. But my favorite one is when he talks about the basketball players.
Come through.
Yes. Exactly. Even when he picks on Shaq.
Okay. And that's what I was talking about before. It's like, I understand that some people feel like, maybe we should, not be talking about people in the front rows and things like that. But it's like there's some people, who
that's what they go
that's what they do.
To get that
that's
experience.
what they do. Exactly. That it's not about them picking on people so much as it is it's their craft.
Go ahead and go into it, because that's part of what Kevin Hart said when I listened to a little bit of it. Mm-hmm. That's what he said. Like back in the day, like even kind of recently, like there was this level of it wasn't
Respect.
like respect that if somebody said something in the audience, the comedian will say something back.
See if I can pull it up.
And then
that video was good.
They come back with something, the comedian come back, and Kevin Hart was like, "We can't do that no more."
Here it is.
Oh, that's it.
Always shout out things because he felt that he could. A comedian's way of shutting the clubs. Yeah, the clubs might throw a buffalo wing at me. But here's what people have forgotten. In stand-up comedy, it's always been the world of heckler and comedian.
Yeah.
Comedian has always dealt with heckler. Yeah. Heckler has always shouted out things because he felt that he could. A comedian's way of shutting that down was to say things back. It wasn't bullying. It wasn't picking on. It was all done in fun. We've now lost sight of the relationship of audience to comedian. And that line has gotten blurred to where it's like, well, I don't need to do this and like this, and I can stand up and make a point. Well, it becomes a hard case of, well, why did you come? Yeah. Why did you buy a ticket? Yeah. That was your want or need. So when I say we need to get back to the place of respecting the entertainer, respect the craft. If you're come to have a good time and enjoy the person that you saw.
Yeah.
If you have no interest in that, you don't have to buy a ticket.
Come on.
You clapped.
Sorry, my bad.
She was in the audience, y'all.
I was in the audience. I'm for real. And that, because, see, I still want to go to a live comedy show.
You do.
I'll probably don't want to sit in the front.
I'm not sitting in the front.
But I still want to go to one.
Right.
And when I was reading the little incident, not little foot, that was a goddamn big incident that happened. And I'm trying not to like push forward and go ahead, but are we talking about black women laughing?
Yeah, it's up to you. It's up to you.
Okay, because I wasn't trying to like go.
No, go.
So
Just go.
with the incident that happened with Dave Chappelle, like, you want to read that, or I don't want to read it because I feel like it's very well known, just like Will Smith.
Yeah.
Sum it up.
Well, before we do that, let's finish the thought that you have about.
Oh, I'm sorry. See, that's
no,
me.
it's fine. It's okay. Like the original point was talking about Chris Rock being a comedian, right? Mm-hmm. And again, that
it's non-response.
It's non-response. Like, one of the things that people were saying was that it was a reaction to some of the mental health stuff that he's had going on in his own life and things like that, and that may be all well and true and good.
You don't need to be there.
But that's not. But the thing is, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that, because even in that moment, you saw Chris Rock handle it like a professional.
He really did.
Like, he was like, "Oh snap!"
He really did.
Let it just smack the snot out of me.
And he's a comedian.
He's a comedian, and so he took
it.
that right. And so again, even in that situation, he handled it like the consummate professional. And so again, it's like, in these moments and in these spaces, like, Chris Rock was doing his job.
Yes.
Now again, you have some people who feel like, well, he should have known who he was messing with, But it's like, no, at the end of the day, he was doing his job. It could have been anybody.
Exactly.
It could have been anybody.
You don't know, a lot of the comedians don't know half the people that they are joking about in front of the stage.
Right. Now some people have said that, that some of the comedians that do that, like they feel like, those comedians are whack, because they feel like if you need to do that in order to get jokes off, then you obviously need to work on your craft. 1, 2, you don't know what's going to happen to that person who you are joking about when they get outside, because people may find that person and then crack those same jokes at that person, so you don't really know what's going on with that person's life. And so it gets kind of nuanced in that space. But even then, that's why I say, if you know who you're going there to see, like, again, if you know D.L. Hughley is the type of comedian that D.L. Hughley is, that he's going to find people in the audience and going to pick on what he sees, what he observes, because that's what type of humor he gives. He gives observational humor. He sees what he sees and he cracks jokes. Knowing that, if you know you're sensitive to that, don't go. Don't go. Or sit in the back. Like, don't go to the show. Because if you're going to go to the show and you're going to sit up front, there's a potential that this comedian who does this for a living and gets paid to do this.
gonna say something.
No, listen. He is so good at what he does. People are paying him to do what he does.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's made his bread and butter off of doing what he does.
Yes.
So if you go to the show expecting him to do something different just because you're there, I got news for you. That's not gonna happen. He don't care about you
at all.
He's there to do a job, and he's gonna do that job, and you may be a victim, an unintended consequence of him doing his job. Which is again why I feel like, you know, people want to say Chris Rock deserved to get smacked in the mouth. No, he didn't. He didn't deserve to get smacked in the mouth. And because he was doing his job. Yes, he could have picked on it could have been anybody in that stage he picked on it. Because as a matter of fact, again, he picked on several other people during his bit. So she was not the only person who got picked on. And so again, people want to make it, I'm telling you, because like again, he was doing his job. He was doing his job. And Will Smith got up there and smacked this man for doing his job, a job that he has been doing for decades. Yeah. People may think that he's not funny, and that's fine. That's okay. You can think that. That's your preference. But that doesn't give you the right to get up on a stage and smack somebody in the mouth just because you feel like that was what you needed to do in order to get him to stop talking, because now you've opened the floodgates.
Exactly.
Because listen, oh my gosh. Because listen, had Will Smith not done anything, we wouldn't be talking about, Chris Rock would never talk about them again. Exactly. Until the next time they became relevant.
Exactly. And
the only reason why they became relevant in this case is because Will Smith was going to win an award.
Yep.
Like again, mind you, you know, he should have just not mentioned Jada at all.
Nah, but that's not him.
But again, yeah, if he sees it, he's going to take it. He's going to see it, he's going to take it, because that's what he does as a comedian. So he shouldn't have said anything, but that's what he does, and you know this. So again, you made yourself a target for him now by doing what you did. Because you know he's going to be talking about you for a long time.
Maybe that's what he wanted.
Oh, Lord. Exactly.
Maybe
Any publicity.
wanted to be that target.
Good publicity, I know.
Maybe he wanted.
But you know they're going to talk about this during the Red Table.
Irrelevant?
Red Table Talk going to be lit the day that they come up with that. It's going to get the most views on Facebook.
That's all I'm saying.
Right. So, there's that. If you got any questions, comments, fill out the comment box below. We'll try to get to them as fast as we can. You are watching the Puzzle Podcast with Eddie and Nicole here on Instagram and TikTok. We're presented by Quality Content Puzzles and sponsored by 4 Point Puzzles, the very good puzzle company, RBL Wellness Company, and Better Co. And I do thank you guys for paying attention to the show, because y'all helped me to realize that Instagram didn't have any sound going on for the first 20 minutes of the show, so y'all didn't hear anything we said at the beginning. So thank y'all so much for tuning in to let me know that, so we got that fixed. I hope.
Find it on Spotify.
It will be on Spotify and on YouTube in the next week, so be looking out for that so you can catch everything that you may have missed during the beginning of this broadcast. Where we going to next?
We can talk about Daisha.
Okay.
And the incident that happened.
Well, you know what? No, I want to do that last. So.
That last?
Yeah. Can we do that last?
Okay.
So let's do the black woman. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, they made a big. So this whole thing became a referendum, a re-referendum on black women, their hair, and alopecia, considering the fact that Chris Rock made a joke about Jada and looking like waiting for G.I. Jane 2 to come out as a result of her hair, and they got mad at him because he actually made a movie called Good Hair that talked about the plight of black women and their hair and things like that. He actually had made a movie a long time ago, Chris Rock. And and it was very highly successful. And so they got frustrated with him about that, because like, how you gonna make a movie about women like that, but then you gonna pick on Jada?
He's a freaking comedian. Sorry.
She felt that in the
When
depths
you can-
of her soul.
But, Brick, dude.
Brick, shoot, brick, got
Okay.
her, brick, shoot, brick.
When you can do something and joke about your craft, come on.
Yep.
It's not saying that you're contradicting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You are doing your job. You are being funny.
Right.
And it wasn't even a stab. You basically saying, Jada, go make some money, girl. Girl, if you in this movie, I'm going to go watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. If you in this movie, you got to get paid.
She look good, I ain't gonna lie.
She don't look ugly.
She ain't ugly at all.
Rick.
She'll kill that role. And so,
Sorry.
to that right. So to that end, a lot of people were trying to, get on Chris Rock about that. And so, once again, I feel like it became a flashpoint. And I'm glad that it became a flashpoint because it gave us an opportunity to be able to talk about something that a lot of people don't understand, don't really talk about that sort of thing. But I don't think that it again is a referendum on the plight of the black woman. I feel like that was again a stretch. It was a stretch because Chris Rock's intention was not to diminish Jada. If what he said is true, and he didn't know that Jada had alopecia, which my opinion, in my opinion, I feel like he did. I feel like he should. Well, I feel like he. How do you not know?
Like, you are a person who has all these different connections, and I get how a lot of famous people can keep their stuff and their issues and stuff
but
like
she
that.
is so she has let everybody and their grandma know.
So you knew.
So you had to know. You had to know that she had alopecia.
I still don't think it was a knock
No.
on her condition
Definitely
for
wasn't.
black women. Even though I feel like black women and their hair, is very important and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of it has to deal with what people think about as far as the Bible and what it says.
Yeah, Crown and Glory is a whole other topic for another day.
That's a whole nother. But where was I going with this? But I do know that a lot of black women in particular, pride on how their hair is.
Mm-hmm.
It takes me back to Gorilla Glue, girl.
How did I know you gonna bring her back up?
Because
golly,
what was one of the
man?
And I just thought about
I
this.
bet you did.
It takes me back to her. No. I promise you. I just thought about that when you talked about.
Keep talking. Mm-hmm.
Like one of the things that she talked about was the fact that through the puzzle piece was that growing up she was taught this about her hair. She was taught that about her hair. And so I can see that when you have a condition, say like someone with a, and I'm not saying that alopecia is, like not as important as a condition, but say someone with cancer who loses their hair, like that
it's psychologically, right.
And so
go ahead.
I guess, but I don't know, but I'm gonna say that I don't feel like Jada had a big problem with it, but I might be wrong, because just because you look good with something doesn't mean you feel that you feel good.
Oh, without I can speak. I can attest to that. Yes, she struggled. She has struggled because again, there are days where she did have longer hair, and she said she would wake up and have clumps of hair on the bed in her pillow, and that's gotta be devastating.
And personally, I would think that this is how I would feel. I wouldn't feel so hurt of losing the hair, but what losing the hair means.
Yes, 100%.
Even though it's not like a deadly condition, it's still that
sucks.
fear. But it's also still that fear.
I'm not pretty.
Not even that. For me, it's more. For me, it's more of a health issue. Mm-hmm. Even though it's not. It's from what I read a little bit. It's not that big of a harmful condition,
Mm-hmm.
it's still a condition that can scare you, that can become something more.
Yeah.
Health-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I would feel about it. As far as being pretty, I would probably feel that way too. But if I have someone like you know, reminding me every day,
Mm-hmm.
then it probably wouldn't hurt as much. You know.
Mm-hmm. Little plug to put in there. That's nice. Mm-hmm.
So I get where they're coming from with the whole black women in hair, and because that is how a lot of black women were brought up. Like when I recently had the conversation with, you know, my baby, and was like, okay, because me and my oldest, you know, we locked our hair and stuff, and so I was like, well, my youngest, I was like, do you want to lock yours, or do you want to keep it out? And her reason behind not wanting to lock it, which she has since changed her mind, was because she wanted long hair. And so I don't want to be that person, not just parent, but that person to give you some type of fantasy about who you are.
Mm-hmm.
We're black.
Yeah.
I know I got some mixed genes in there, but the hair is straight up black texture.
Yep.
And so you just have to be truthful. Like, your hair doesn't make you, and that's what I'm teaching them. Your hair does not make you. Yes, we want you to be presentable and decent,
Mm-hmm.
but there are multiple ways for you to be presentable and decent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your hair doesn't, you know, function like Caucasian hair functions, or Indian or Latina hair functions. It doesn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so trying to educate her on that and letting her know that she's beautiful either way, Jada bald or long hair or locks or whatever, like, your hair doesn't make who you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how we're brought up a little bit. Because I mean, I'll say, you know, I was brought up, my hair was always did, you know, beads or straightened. Hated going to the hair salon because she would straighten my hair, and then they would say it was the grease that was burning, and all, boo, you was touching my scalp with that comb.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it. I get why, you know, they would take it there. But I guess I don't think that Chris Rock took it there. I don't think his intent was there.
Right.
For that.
So just because his intent wasn't there, do you think that he still, you know, does he owe a community an apology or anything like that? Because he might not have meant to take it there.
How I feel personally about it, the community. What you mean, the community? As far as the show people?
No, I'm talking about the hair people. The people who are mad at him for having picked on Jada, for having for making a joke when she has a hair condition.
I feel like if you are a person with a character of concern and, you know, not meaning to want to harm others, I feel like it's one of those moments where I'm sorry what I said made you feel this way. That was not my intent.
Mm-hmm.
Again, was he sorry for doing it? It's his job. I get that. But was he sorry that it made someone feel the way it felt? But then you have to go into thinking about, okay, so anybody who's harmed by his jokes, are they to apologize? But how about you just go on and do an disclaimer before you get on the goddamn show? Hey, I am apologizing right now for whomever I am about to hurt with this show that's about to happen.
Which leads us to where we're going now.
And that is why I don't think that was right. What Will Smith did was not right. Because these people are doing their job. It's not like he's on the street and just going up to somebody and picking at him. No, he's getting paid to do what he is doing.
Yes.
So, I mean, I feel like even with Kevin Hart, maybe, like, one of his shows was, because with Laugh at My Pain, or one of them, it was like, it was funny, but if you are pregnant or if you are such and such, don't watch or don't come because of something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do they now have to start putting disclaimers out there for comedy shows? Like, if you, whatever, I can't even think about it because it's dumb to me. You are going to a comedy show where people pick on not just other people, but themselves and pick on their family members.
Mm-hmm.
So who are you to them?
Right.
That they're not going to do the same.
Right. So if you don't know, Dave Chappelle got attacked on stage by an armed man while performing in LA the other day. According to CBS, Dave Chappelle was attacked on stage by an armed man Tuesday night as he performed at Los Angeles' Hollywood Bowl Arena, with videos from audience members' cell phones quickly flooding social media and showing a man appear to have run and tackled the comic on stage. The 23-year-old man pointed a weapon that was later determined to be a replica handgun that contained a knife blade. Following the incident, the person, Isaiah Lee, was transported to the hospital for medical treatment for his injuries after being beat down by the security team. All right.
Why wasn't that done to Will? Okay.
The performances by Chappelle at the Hollywood Bowl were epic and record-breaking, and he refuses to allow last night's incident to overshadow the magic of this historic moment. Sims said Chappelle, whose unapologetic humor has made him a lightning rod for criticism, was appeared unscathed by the sudden interruption and later joked with fellow comedian and actor Jamie Foxx on stage that he'd taken revenge on his attacker.
What made it worse? Who was at the show?
Chris Rock. Chris Rock was at the show and jokingly asked if the attacker was Will Smith.
Come on.
Who made headlines by bounding up on stage and slapping Rock at the Academy Awards in March.
That's why I say, was Will's move a power play too?
Right.
Because who is in their mouth now?
Right.
Will Smith.
Will Smith. All up in their mouth.
Who is coming to see Chris Rock? Everybody.
On May 5th, CNN issued this stating that Dave Chappelle released the first statement about unsettling attack. Representative for Dave Chappelle released a statement regarding an audience member who attacked him. He said, as unfortunate and unsettling as the incident was, Chappelle went on with the show. Jamie Foxx and Chris Rock helped calm the crowd with humor before Chappelle introduced the last and featured musical guest. Talked about the same stuff about the weapon and things like that. He said we care deeply about the safety of creators. This is what Netflix said. We care deeply about the safety of creators, and we strongly defend the right of stand-up comedians to perform on stage without fear of violence.
I'm looking at that weapon, man. I have never seen a weapon like that before. That is a straight up gun with a knife attached.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
Where do you get stuff like that?
Howie Mandel and other comics have sounded the alarm after Dave Chappelle was attacked on stage following a performance. An audience member attacked Chappelle Tuesday night. Talking to Extra's Billy Bush on Wednesday, Mandel expressed concern. Watching what happened to Dave last night confirmed my fear. I was watching it kind of live on Twitter, and I turned to my wife and said, I don't want to. I don't want to go on stage. I'm just really afraid.
Oh, that's a lot of serious.
Mm-hmm. Other comedians who were present, that's because of how I read it. I shouldn't have read it like that.
Okay.
Other comedians who were present during the incident, including Chris Rock, rushed to Chappelle's side as it happened. Rock joked about whether the suspect was Will Smith. Yep. Comedian and Washington Times columnist Tim Young tweeted, "We can all thank Will Smith for setting the example that led to Dave Chappelle getting assaulted on stage last night."
That's the quote that I wrote down that I wanted.
Here we go again. As I mentioned before, Will Smith did it, so now people think that if a big celebrity did it, they can now do it. Comedian Jordan Garnett told WPTV. Mandel made the connection as well. This is one step that kind of opens the door and triggers somebody if they don't like what you're saying or they're offended by what you're saying. It's kind of okay because it's been done to be violent, and that's what my fear was, he told Extra about Smith getting rocked. Mandel said he plans on touring less. My biggest fear 40 years ago was not getting a laugh. Then cancel culture came along, and then it was like, oh my God, if somebody doesn't like your joke or you overstep your line, you can lose your career. Then after the Academy Awards, I said, violence triggers violence.
So, I agree with that. Like, some don't feel that they're brave enough to do something until somebody else does it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I didn't want to bring it up, especially on the first show back.
Whatever.
This is what it, because I don't feel like this is the first time that this has happened where somebody has done something and then you feel like, I feel like a big part of that came from the election.
I made the same connection. So, I'm not saying that people haven't always felt this way. And I'm not saying that people haven't always been angry. What I am saying is that people have gotten bolder.
Yep.
People have gotten more emboldened, more empowered to do what they feel they must do in order to express what they're feeling. I feel like last election, our last president, whose name I will not mention, Lord Voldemort, I feel like because he allowed people to feel how they feel and get on the platform.
And mind you, it's not bad to feel
how you feel. But you know, you're feeling what they're feeling to the point of now responding
in a way that is
so wrong, so vile, so vicious, so violent. They made it okay. They made it okay. Because what pisses me off is that these same people who emboldened themselves on January 6th were catching attitudes when the cops were coming to arrest them. What are you arresting me for? I don't understand what's going on. I'm an American. Like,
you're doing some dumb. So I always say, I tell this to my kids, I tell this to my students. Okay, you feel how you want to feel.
Stupid games get stupid prizes.
Exactly. You got this choice or you got this choice.
You got choices.
What you gonna make?
Choices.
But be ready for the consequences
that come with the choices that you make. Exactly. We're not saying don't get upset if something upsets you, because even Jesus said it. Yeah. Be angry, but sin not. You're gonna get mad.
In a way that
you're gonna get mad about stuff. Yeah. But what's happened is that people have taken that anger and now feel that they have a right to express it however they want to. There are laws. There are laws and there's morals. Like, no, just because you got mad, Will Smith did not give you the right to smack this man, let alone to smack him when you did. You didn't have the right to do that. You had the choice to do it, but you didn't have the right to do it. In the same way, this guy did not have the right to get on stage and tackle Dave Chappelle with a weapon just because he felt some type of way about Dave Chappelle. Didn't give you the right to do that. You can do it. It's your choice, but you don't have the right. And people are going to say, well, at the end of the day, he made his choice. Yes, he made his choice, but guess what? He was influenced. He was influenced. And that's what happens. There's a line in Captain America Civil War, when the Vision is talking to the team because the team has been, they got to make a choice as to whether they're going to give up their rights and allow the UN to do it for them, to tell them where to go and what to do, or whether they're going to keep it to themselves. And he said in the 8 years since Iron Man revealed himself, they have been met with challengers. Mm-hmm. And every time they beat a challenger, a bigger challenger showed up. Yeah. So every time they met a conflict, a bigger conflict emerged. And we saw the progression of that going all the way to Endgame. Yeah. Like they just kept coming. They didn't stop. And that's what's happening now. Now that now that January 6th, now that the election, keep going back. Now that all this stuff is going down, people think it's okay.
You take it back even further than that. you think about, and I know this is like mainly like the black-white issue or the black issue, but you take it back even then, how when just because you feel a certain way and don't get the facts about something, you decide to go and run somebody down who's jogging in their own neighborhood and decide to shoot them. Like, you take it back even further than that.
Just because you feel a certain way. Because you feel like it's your right and your responsibility to do whatever it is you feel like doing. You're making choices. And these choices, yes, at the end of the day, it's your choice. You made a decision and you should be punished for it. I'm not saying Will Smith is responsible for this person tackling Dave Chappelle. But what I am saying is that he saw that and said, oh, that makes it okayer.
In this arena. Like those are different. Election was different.
Election's different.
Shooting, going
Oscars is different. All that's different.
And it shows that in this space, it's okay now.
Right.
What if it's another space? What if something else where it's a whole different place, different situation?
Exactly.
And so now you have somebody else. Okay, so now in this space, it's okay.
It's okay. I can do this.
I got people behind me who
right.
back me up.
Yeah, right. And I think that's the thing. It says in Romans chapter 1 that not only will God give you over to a reprobated mind, but he will put people in your path to make it okay. They will celebrate your idiocy. They will celebrate your mediocrity. They will celebrate your stupidity. And so you got these people now who feel like it's okay to get up on this stage and do this to these comedians. And again, it's just like Chris Rock said. It's just like Kevin Hart said. Like Kevin Hart said, if you don't like what he's saying, don't buy a ticket. Because you had to buy a ticket to get in here.
Yeah.
You had to buy a ticket to go to this show. So you bought a ticket with the intent of attacking this man.
Yeah.
You bought a ticket with the intent. This man got your money. The one thing, oh my gosh, I keep bringing this up. You want to stop a comedian from doing something? You want to stop an artist from doing something? You want to stop a movie star from doing something? Don't show up to their stuff. Stop buying the tickets. Stop buying the movies. Stop buying the music. Get on Spotify. That's how they make their money.
Breaking it or ripping it up ain't gonna do
it. Because they already got your money. They already got your money. They're doing this to make money. Listen.
But you ripping it up. Go sell it.
Listen. Listen. I was talking to my coworker about this. I was talking to Hodge about this earlier today. I'm sorry. I'm talking to my coworker about this today. You're right. You're right. I apologize. Don't watch this video. I was talking to my coworker earlier today, and she said that that yes, we care about our craft and our job and the things we do and we're passionate about, but we're doing this to get paid. Let's call a spade a spade. I went to school to get paid. I ain't go to school for nothing. Went to school to get paid. These comedians, these actors, these entertainers, these basketball players, everybody's doing this to get money. And we are paying them. Mm-hmm. So you want to hit them where it hurts. Person running up on stage. Hit them by not showing up. Hit them by not making them relevant. Hit them by not giving them fuel. Because now
they got so much
ammo.
And Chris Rock was there too. Oh, they about to collaborate. I'm telling you.
They
gonna get a movie.
Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock are standing up for themselves in light of their infamous onstage attacks. Chappelle, who was tackled by a knife-wielding assailant during a set at the Hollywood Bowl, he was attacked. And Rock, who made headlines for being slapped by Will Smith, both appeared and performed a secret comedy show Thursday night in Los Angeles. The tight-lipped show took place inside a small venue in the Comedy Store Club and featured a star-studded audience. Fans paid $160 to see a cigarette-smoking Chappelle, who was billed as a last-minute unnamed comedian. After raucous ovation, he was joined on stage by Rock. About 10 minutes into his set, and the duo made light of their vicious circumstances. In response, Rock, who previously poked fun at Chappelle's open field tackle, took the opportunity to clap back at Smith for the now months-long drama he caused. Chappelle said, "At least you got smacked by somebody of repute." I got smacked by a homeless guy with leaves in his hair. Rock chuckled and quit back. I got smacked by the softest N-word that ever rapped. Reported. Eventually, the two moved on to make punchlines and stuff like that. So again, wait. Oh yeah. We all talking about that. And so now you're making them more relevant than you may have wanted them to be in the first place.
And dude, the
you're not
person
making
who
that
attacked Chappelle won't even know who that is.
Right.
I feel like when people try to do this, because sometimes I feel like the intent is to try to get
publicity.
But I don't even know who the dude is.
Right.
Don't care.
Right. And so it's like you're doing all of this. You're doing all of this for what? For what? Because at the end of the day, they win. Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle win.
They're getting paid.
They're getting paid. They're selling out shows. Somebody said it like this: Will Smith just made Chris Rock more famous than he's ever been before.
Okay.
And that may be the case, but guess what? Chris Rock is going to use this to further propel his platform in ways that...
And you know how I know this to be so true? Because I don't listen to Chris Rock. I don't care for Chris Rock.
Right.
Like, and it's not because of his vulgar jokes or whatever. I just
don't care for him.
Like, I'm a Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
I feel like their jokes they're different.
Right. And again, different stroke for different folk.
But I am going to be paying attention to him a little bit more now because I want to.
Right. I want to hear what he's got to say.
So yeah,
exactly. You just made
probably even the people who don't even listen to him.
Don't even listen to Chris Rock. Don't even care about Chris Rock. Don't even give a damn about Chris Rock. Now all of a sudden they're like, ooh, what's Chris Rock gonna say? You made him more famous. If your intent was to shut him up, you just made him the biggest mouthpiece on the planet now. And you best believe he gonna soak it up and soak it in till the cows come home. So you failed, sir. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. Trust me, Chris Rock gonna be saying her name for a long time. As a matter of fact, his idea might be, let's see how long I can go without saying her name. As a matter of fact, Chris Rock, if you're listening, let that be the name of your show and give me some credit. Because at the end of the day, you've won by the way you handle the situation, and by the way that you're handling the situation even now. You're winning. You are winning a professional comedian.
Exactly.
This is what comedians are paid to do. This is what entertainers are paid to do. Yes. Anybody who's feeling emboldened to go and get on stage and commit acts of violence because they feel like it's their right to do so, and who am I? But I'm here to tell you, you ain't got the right to do that. I'm sorry. If you paid your $160 for your ticket, sit your ass down. Enjoy the show. Eat your popcorn.
Be ready for whatever.
Be ready for what comes and go home.
Exactly.
Don't be thinking that you got the right to get...
Once he jokes about you, he probably ain't gonna remember.
Who you are. Ever again. 5 minutes later. He got a whole 45 more minutes of show to do. Okay. He's done you. So like, come on, man, y'all, we gotta be. I know. One, we out of time, but I know, we're better than this. That's my phone. We're better than this. We are better than this. Like, we should be better than this. Yeah. Like, I know at the end of the day we live in a broken world, broken people do broken things, but we should be better than this. Like, we should. To me, cause you don't hear about people getting tackled on stage, man. Come on. Not like this. Not like this. Not on the Oscars. Not at a comedy show this big. Like, people gonna throw, stuff at you. Like Kevin Hart said, he got hit by a chicken wing. This stuff's gonna happen, but ain't nobody coming up trying to attack nobody with no weapon. Like, come on. Come on. We're better than that. Yeah. Thank y'all for watching the Puzzle Podcast. We're presented by Quality Content Puzzles. We so thank y'all so much for, it really is, talking smack and all that jazz. I feel like, we've missed y'all. We're glad that we're able to get the room, to where we needed it to be and able to get on here. Definitely need to get some different chairs. Again, thank y'all so much for watching. Thank you so much to Quality Content, 4 Point, the Very Good Puzzle Company, RBL Wellness, and Better Co. for their sponsorship of the show. We certainly appreciate everybody for watching and hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Come back next week for a brand new episode. We'll let you know what we're going to be talking about on the next time of the Puzzle Podcast with Eddie D and Nicole right here on Instagram and TikTok. That'll be good.
Wait, y'all, don't forget to follow us on @_puzzle podcast and @quality content _puzzle on Instagram and @the puzzle podcast on TikTok, you guys. And don't forget to do that because you will be entered in as an entry to win a free puzzle and the last day from Quality Content. And the last day to enter is May 12th. We'll give the winner's name on May 13th.
All right, and it's open to U.S. and Canada, so all our Canadians go in and enter into that that giveaway as quickly as possible. We love y'all. Have a great rest of y'all's weekend, and we'll see y'all in the next episode of the Puzzle Podcast. Peace.